We're back with the PT on Ice Daily Show, and before we get started, we're going to take a little bit of a deeper dive into Jane and their subscription rates. This is one of the many areas we appreciate about Jane, how transparent the cost is about their plans. The base plan is only $74 a month, and the insurance-based plan is only $99 a month. There are no additional fees to set up your account, there's no contract, and there's no additional charge for customer support help. Jane grows with your practice, meaning the cost of your subscription only increases if you add new practitioners as well. Administrative staff, back-end staff, and billers are always totally free. We are saving over $1,000 a month here at My Clinic Health HQ by switching to Jane from our current EMR, and we love that. If you wanted to know more about Jane or you're just ready to get started, you can head on over to jane.app/physicaltherapy where you can connect with a Jane support team member who can walk you through what you get with your monthly subscription. Don't forget when you sign up to mention the PT on Ice Daily Show in your sign-up notes for a 1-month free grace period applied to your account to help you get settled in your transition to Jane. Enjoy today's show.
Welcome to the PT on Ice Daily Show. My name is Dr. Jess Gingrich, and I am one of the 2 TAs for the Pregnancy and Postpartum Division. I am hopping on here this morning to talk about why we recommend pelvic floor physical therapy during pregnancy. Before we get started, I'm going to talk about some upcoming courses that we are hosting. So our next live course is March 26th here in my hometown, Greenville, South Carolina. And then our next online cohort begins April 26th. So if you're interested in learning more about this population, hop onto those courses. They're fabulous. You're going to learn a lot of Olympic lifting, compound movements, and then all things pelvic floor. The live course is fabulous to learn the internal exam, which is a great tool to add to your toolbox if that is something that you're interested in. So let's dive into this. So why we recommend pelvic floor PT during pregnancy? We usually recommend around 8 to 12 weeks beginning when you find out that you're pregnant. This is a fabulous opportunity for us as PTs to start educating on toileting habits, using the squatty potty, fluid intake, what normal voiding intervals are. The other education includes the NAC, so bracing before you cough, laugh, sneeze, or even blow your nose. Other strategies to learn are bracing strategies. This is going to be something that these athletes can use during lifting, but also during daily activities, lifting their child, lifting their laundry basket, those kinds of things. Another great thing to talk about is how the body's going to change. That is something that's really important to talk about because we don't know what's normal. I feel some medical providers, they talk about it all the time. So they almost forget to start educating all of their patients about it because it becomes a very normal thing for them. And then one of the biggest things is to normalize all of this, normalizing the changes that are happening to our bodies. So this is something that can happen throughout the plan of care. So first trimester through the 3rd trimester, and then even more importantly, through that 4th trimester. So a lot of the things that I like to focus on are pelvic floor awareness. I know we hear pelvic floor PT and we think, oh, Kegels, it's pretty much all it is. And it's a big part of it sometimes, right? We want to be very connected to our pelvic floor in a contracted state, but almost more importantly, in a relaxed state. Can we relax our pelvic floor and then also lengthen? And so lengthening is going to be important for childbirth and then for also toileting. One other aspect is the transverse abdominis. That's another thing that we hear a lot about. We tend to see a lot of, supine, quadruped, sideline TA activation, when in reality, it's a great thing to get connected with, but how can we utilize that and add layers? Add layers to what a normal daily activity may look like, or adding it to a lifting technique. That's going to be an important piece of this. And then symptom awareness. How do we talk about symptoms and then start to normalize them in a sense that it can guide your clients? So leakage, pain, pressure, if there is abdominal coning, almost making them aware of this, like, hey, this may happen and we don't want to freak out. We just want to modify, and showing them how to do that. This gives your client so much freedom to continue working out and not being scared of this. And then recognizing, oh, I did 30 double unders and I leaked this time and I'm in my third trimester. How can we modify that so they can continue to feel empowered at the gym and not embarrassed? That's going to be another thing, is the embarrassment that can sometimes come with this, and just keeping them moving. With that is exercise modification. And so that can look like 100 million different ways, which is so cool for us. We can get really creative with this, whether it's adding a box below or behind their bottom for squatting, taking a barbell and changing it to a dumbbell when belly starts to get in the way, and then giving options for impact, whether that is getting on the bike, getting on the rower, or even doing some step ups. Another great thing to add to the plan of care, and I think this oftentimes gets missed, is core training. Because we often hear we don't want to use our rectus abdominis when we're pregnant because of the coning and diastasis. Well, we know that that is going to be to some degree normal, especially in the later stages of their pregnancy. And if they start coning in their first trimester and we stop training their core, we are going to now decondition them throughout the rest of their pregnancy, and then going into that fourth trimester can be very difficult. And so how can we start adding in a core program where maybe you're progressing it every week, maybe you're progressing it every 2 weeks, being in communication with them via email, and making it challenging. I think that's another thing, is like for a banded Palloff press, for example, we can make that really easy and they do it and they feel okay with it. But can we make that heavier? Can we make that where they are struggling and you're monitoring that midline and they're starting to get some really good strength gains out of this? A great resource, which is blasted all over social media, and I'm so thankful for it, is the Barbell Mamas. This is a great resource for women who maybe don't have programming, maybe they aren't doing CrossFit, but they want to start getting into some strength training. The Barbell Mamas is fabulous. It has filters so you can put in where you are within your pregnancy or postpartum, and then also if you're experiencing any symptoms. And for a PT, that I love that, because I want to be able to modify programming as needed. I don't want to have to program for these clients because that's another skill in itself. Another piece that I love to talk about is the nutritional needs during pregnancy and during that breastfeeding phase. And so during pregnancy, about 500 additional calories is needed as we get into that third trimester, and then an additional 400 calories if we are going to be breastfeeding. This is a piece that a lot of women don't know, because when they have their baby, what do they want to do? They want to start losing that baby weight. And so being very upfront with them about this, and if you feel that there's any disordered eating, getting in touch with your local dietitian, nutritionist that maybe specializes in pregnancy and postpartum, having a great relationship with them is really important. I know in my practice, I have 3 nutritionists and dietitians that I refer to weekly. This is a big part that's missing. And being open and very upfront with your clients about this, and sleeping, right? Sleeping is another piece of this, and letting them know that it's okay, right? They're not going to be sleeping. They just had a baby. Their newborn is going to be feeding every few hours. And when they feel tired and run down, that it's okay. It's okay that they feel that way, but also telling them if you go and hammer it at the gym now, there's going to be more chance, more likely that you may get hurt because you're not recovering, and that's going to be an important piece of this. Or if they do miss the gym and they feel guilty about it, help them to not feel guilty. Give them the okay, that it's okay. They need to be prioritized sleeping at this point. So another great point too is, during pregnancy, there are a lot of symptoms that may arise, pain being one of them. As PTs, that's what we treat, right? We treat pain. And so having that relationship with them early, when they start having back pain or SI joint pain, they're going to contact you. And that's going to be an important piece because you are the fitness forward, positive language provider that they need to be in front of. Another piece that I like to do, this is probably one of my favorite pieces within my plan of care, is birth prep. And birth prep is fun. It gets the mama excited about delivery. And so that is going to be birth positions, knowing that they don't have to deliver on their back if they don't want to. Perineal massage, getting those hips open, talking about some stretches that they can start doing every night before they go to bed. And then early postpartum exercise. That's going to be another piece. So when they are hours out of having their baby, what can they do, right? Can they use their breath to start pumping fluid in and out of their pelvis? Can they start gentle Kegels, right? That's going to depend on if there's any instrumental delivery, any tearing. You want to make sure that that's pain-free, but there's stuff that they can do really early. And then educating them on when they should come and see you. And so a lot of providers within network, they tend to see these mamas 6 to 8 weeks postpartum. That is not driven by insurance. We can see them earlier. And so you can get in touch with their medical provider if needed and say, hey, here's what I want to do. This is why I want to see them at 2 weeks postpartum. And that way you're really setting mom up for when she's now at that 6 week mark, she's feeling great, right? She's feeling like she's ready to get moving, maybe even add some load onto her. And that's very possible. So, and then of course, talking about in screening postpartum depression, getting in touch with a local counselor that you can get them in touch with if they're starting to feel that way. That's going to be a really important piece that I think that we miss a lot, is because people don't want to talk about it. And it's a really important piece that even just asking them how they're feeling, asking them about their birth story, and letting them break down in your office and saying everything is so hard right now. And you can get them in touch with the provider that they need to be in touch with. All right, so I want to tie this all together. And so we're going to kind of talk about a little patient example here. So you've got Emma. She comes to you. She's 12 weeks pregnant. You guys talk about toileting strategies. You talk about birth prep. You get her on a core program. She is moving through her pregnancy, lifting heavy weights, going through Metcons. You've talked about other things like shortness of breath and respecting that. And then Emma comes to see you when she is postpartum. And you keep going through that. You talk about symptoms. She is modifying heavily at first, but then she starts to progress. She's feeling great. So let's fast forward 1 year. Emma is back in the gym. She's doing everything. She's not leaking. She doesn't feel pressure. She has no pain. She's back in the gym, crushing it. Now let's fast forward 40 years. Emma's 70. She's got 8 grandkids. They come to visit her every weekend. They go hiking. They play with the dogs outside. And she's even started to take those grandkids to CrossFit. Emma lives at home with her partner, and she has no help with anything. She's feeling great. She goes to the doctor once a year for a checkup, right? We have set Emma up during that pregnancy, right? We showed her how to stay strong. We showed her how to modify when she needed to. And now she was able to continue exercising 40 years between her pregnancy and delivery and then her current age. That is powerful. Right? We are in a position where we can change lives in the now, but we can also change lives in the future. And that is awesome. So, all right. I hope you guys have a great Monday. I am excited to be on here. This was my first daily show. And so this was fun, and I will see you guys soon.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.